morning. I hope everyone is doing fine. So we are here today for the fourth day of Cybersecurity Essentials, and we will be learning about common attacks and more things. Right? So let's see the agenda for today's webinar, guys. The agenda is we'll start learning about common attacks, that attacks we have. Then we will be learning about the steps of hacking. And the last thing that we'll be working with Nmap, that how you will work with it, right? Uh, Now what we have is, guys, first common network attack, right? Now in common network attacks, the first thing that we have is shoulder surfing, right? So what is shoulder surfing, guys? Shoulder surfing. Anyone? You can put down your answers in the chat. So shoulder surfing is what? The most common example, if I give you the example for shoulder surfing, peeping Tom, okay, observing the credentials and activity behind the person, right? So what we have is, guys, so shoulder surfing. So most common example would be your ATM, right? So while you are entering your PIN in the ATM, and someone from behind will peek into your PIN, right, while you are entering it. So that is your shoulder surfing. One more example that I have for shoulder surfing is like, which all of us have done at some age or some point of time during the examination also, right? When you don't know the answer and it's the last hour of your exam, so what do? You start peeking into someone else's exam sheet. So if you guys have done that, so that is also shoulder surfing. Overseeing someone else's credentials, someone else's screen for information. That is shoulder surfing. So as you can see, the person sitting over here is working in his laptop, and the person is standing behind and peeking into his screen. Right? Now what you can do in shoulder surfing, how you can prevent this, or how you can prevent this attack? Anyone? Now what you can do, guys, now we have in our devices, we have option of screen resizing, right? So rather than using the whole screen, if you are using it just this much, so you are resizing it, so there are less chances that a person can watch the things that you are entering, all the pins, all the information that you have, that you are seeing. So there are less chances for that, right? So that rather than using the whole screen, you can use the screen resizing option as well, right? Okay. Now the next thing that we have is eavesdropping. Now what is eavesdropping, guys? The best word I would say is overhearing. So best synonym for eavesdropping that I will suggest is overhearing. Now what does eavesdropping, guys? What happens? Let's say these are not devices, these are just people. So this is person 1, P1, this is person 2, P2, and this is the hacker. So this is H1. So what happens? Let's say two people are working in a co-working space and having a discussion about a new deal or a new project that is gonna get deployed, right? So what hacker is, there is this hacker and he is doing what? He is there hearing the conversation and getting the ideas or information which can be useful for him, right? So that is what, that is your eavesdropping. Now in the world of devices, if we say what is eavesdropping, so let's say the data is traveling in a plain text format or in the network, right? The data is directly transferring. This PC wants to transfer. This is PC1 and this is PC2. So PC1 wants to transfer the data to PC2 to the destination, right? So what he will do, he will just directly send the data, right? Now he will just directly send the data. What happens? The attacker is sitting over here. Now what attacker will do? Attacker will sniff the traffic in between and he is able to read all the data that is there. Right? Now that is called what? That is called sniffing. So what attacker is doing? Attacker is sniffing the traffic in between. Right? So this is your eavesdropping attack. Right? Clear everyone? Okay, great. Next we have a tailgating. So what is tailgating, guys? Anyone? Tailgating. Skipping physical authentication, breaching the physical security gates. Okay, yeah. So what we are attacking the physical security. Remember we discussed about physical security, right? So physical security, in physical security, let's say what there is one attacker. Now if you can see in the picture, this person is following this person who is swiping his card, right? Now what happens in tailgating, guys? In tailgating, the attacker does what? This is the attacker and this is the authorized person, right? So this is the authorized person. Now what happens? This person is doing what? This person is opening the door by swiping his card, by punching down his card. Now what the attacker is doing? Attacker is directly following him. As soon as the door opens, the attacker does what? The attacker quickly gets inside without the knowing of this authorized person. This authorized person does not know that using his card, he gets inside with his card. One more person has got inside the organization. So that is what? That is tailgating, right? Now, Mr. Rajshekhar, that you are saying allowing someone along with us, right? That is called what? That is called piggybacking, right? Now, as you can see in piggybacking, what happens? This is the authorized person. He is opening the door, and authorized person enters the number of passerby at a time with a keypad, right? So what happens? Your these visitors are, some attackers are impersonating as visitors, that we are visitor for the organization, and they got inside. So with the knowing of authorized person, the attackers are getting inside. Now not always these things happen. Not always piggybacking is harmful. There are attackers as well, but there are visitors, legal legit visitors as well, right? right? So those peoples are called what? Those are visitors, right? So they are not there for an attack, they are there for a deal. They can be your vendors, right? They can be some people from other organizations as well. So not always your piggybacking is done as an attack, right? Now tailgating your tailgating is without telling anyone you are getting inside. So that is always the attack, but not the tail you're piggybacking, right? So this is the difference between tailgating and piggybacking, right? Any doubts? Correct, Mr. Rashik. Now, next attack that we have is phishing. So what is phishing, guys? Thefting of data, okay. Now, when we talk about phishing, the word that we have is emails, right? So what attackers do, attackers send malicious emails to the peoples they want to attack, and there is a link in those emails, and if you will click on those links, that will do what? It will take you to another website, and it will also do what? It will download some malicious data in your device, and you will get attacked, right? So attackers can take the personal data of yours, right? Now in emails, what I can do, I can send malware as well, right? I can send malware through emails, right? Now I can have a fake website, I can redirect it to redirect the victim as well to any other website, right? Now the email looks legit, but it's not. Like once I got an email, and that email was written like this, like in our devices R is written like this, and so this is RN, and the letters were so small I was not able to look at that at the first time. So I thought that it is an email from Microsoft.com, but it was from rniCrosoft.com, right? So this is how hackers play with you. So you have to always be confident about it and check all the things that is this legal or not. You have to check them. Like you have nowadays, we have filters in Gmail as well, right? In Gmail we have lots of filters, but still you have to check the emails. Like if someone is using Yahoo Mail, right? If someone here is using Yahoo Mail, always remember, if I'm sending you a fake email, it will not be in your spam, right? If I'm sending you a malicious email, a fake email, that in Gmail it will be in your spam, but in Yahoo Mail it will look like it is a legit thing, right? So Yahoo Mail never filters the data, right? So that is your phishing. Clear, everyone? Okay. Now next thing that we have is wishing. Now wishing means voice over phishing. Right now, what is voice over phishing? Voice over phishing is a type of phishing that when someone calls you, right? Like if you guys have experienced, some people call you that I am talking from the head branch of the bank, and your credit card is being uh, closed, right? So we are closing your credit card. So if you want to renew it, you have to provide us the credit card details like credit card number, your CVV, and the PIN of your credit card. And one OTP will arrive, you have to provide that OTP as well. So what they are doing, through phone, they are finding out the data, right? Now, sometimes what happens, yes, Mr. Gyanin, nowadays what is happening, peoples are doing what they are sending they are calling you, right? And they are pretending that I am your friend. They know the name of your friend and they call with your someone else's name and they ask for money that I am in need of money, right? So it happened with me also. One of my friend got calls that I'm Ashish calling and I need money for some work. So can you please transfer money to to this phone number? So I was just standing over there, and then if I was not standing over there, he would have sent the money, right? So that is what, that is your phishing, voice over phishing. If someone is calling you, now next thing that we have is in Wishing. What happens? There was in Netflix about Wishing. There is a series with the name Jamtara, right? Now, if you guys have watched it, Jamtara, so it will take you. This movie will take you to deep into the wishing world. So the people sitting in Jamtara, it is actually considered one of the South Asia's biggest fishing center. Right now, people sitting over there, they know different languages. Many of them are not even school passed out, but they learned the language somehow and they were good at studying, but they were pretty good at doing such activities. So if you will watch Jamtara, you will know how you get attacked, right? Okay. So this is about wishing. Now next thing that we have is smishing. So what is smishing? As you can see over here, it is malicious text message. So people are doing what? They are sending you the details. They are attacking you using the SMS. So what at SMS you get? Like if you have experience lottery SMS, that you have won a lottery of $5,000, right? And to claim that, click on this link, and there was some URL, right? HTTP and some URL.com, right? So this is the website created by them to ask for money. So that is what, that is your smishing, correct? Okay. Next thing that we have is dumpster diving. Now, if you can read about dumpster diving over here, rummaging through a company's or individual's garbage for discarded documents, information, and other precious items that could be used in an attack against that person or company. So what we are going through, we are going through the trash of someone, even if it is a company or a particular person. So that is your dumpster diving. If, let me tell you a story behind it, there was a real world story behind dumpster diving. So back in 2000s, the starting of this 2000, what happened? There was a research group. So they were researching on this particular dumpster dive, right? Now, when they were researching on this dumpster diving, there was an old lady in the neighborhood of those researchers, right? Now, what she used to do, she used to dump all her stuff, like her social security number, her card copy, her electricity bill, these types of things in her trash. So she used to dump all her stuff like that, right? So what they did dumpster diving. They went inside to the trash and found some things. And what they got the photocopy of her driving license, right? They got like social security number as well, right? They got electricity bill, right? Like driving license they have, right? So what they did, they collected all these copies and they went to the DMV department, Department of Motor Vehicles. Now, after going to the Department of Motor Vehicles, what they did, one person from that group was impersonating as an old lady and other girl was impersonating as a granddaughter. So they were like simply asking that her grandmother has lost her driving license, right? This is the photocopy of electricity bill. This is the security number, and this is the DL copy of that DL, right? So what happened? The guys in the DMV they believed them and issued them a new driving license. So what happened? Now those guys with the new driving license went to another departments, taking the original driving license as the proof and got access to other things as well, right? Now after that, what they did, they went to the bank. driving license as the proof and got access to other things as well, right? Now after that, what they did, they went to the bank, right? Now they went to the bank. What they did, they created an account and issued a credit card. After issuing the credit card, they utilized it completely. Now, a few days later, when it was the time to pay the bills, so can you guess who got that bill? That bill was received by whom? That bill was received by that old lady. She didn't know anything, but she received a bill of $50,000, right? So this is how dumpster diving helps, and it can be very easy for the person to get the information, right? So always dump your stuff. Like we have if you have any papers, always tear them, always shred them and then throw them, right? Because if anyone will find some information about you, it will be bad for you as well, right? So this is your dumpster diving. Clear, everyone? Okay. Now next thing that we have is spear phishing. Now, what is spear phishing, guys? Like, if you know about the word spear, spear is what? Spear is a tool, right? That ancient peoples used to hunt down the animals, right? So that is how it only hunt one animal, right? You throw the spear and it will hit the animal and animal will be dead. So spear phishing is that. Now, in spear phishing, what happens? In spear phishing, you only attack individual or a single organization, right? What you are doing, you are aiming to a single individual or a single organization only. So you have your target specified, right? So that is what, that is your spear phishing, right? Targeting an organization or any individual, a particular individual, that is your spear phishing, and taking his data or the data of the organization, right? Mr. Diego, that is different. Okay. Now this is whaling, right? So what is whaling? A cyber attack targeting a high profile executives with access to financial or sensitive data. So in whaling, what you are doing, in whaling, you are fishing the CEOs, CTOs, CFOs, CISOs, MDs of the organization, right? The high-end authorities you are attacking, high-profile executives, right? So you are attacking those peoples, and for attacking those peoples, you have to make some really good strategies. Like you have to create authentic websites that look authentic. That's why, otherwise they are working in that position, they know everything, they will not fall for it. If you want them to fall, you have to create some really good strategies, right? Now, what why this attack is named whaling? Like we know that whale is the biggest fish in the sea. So our organization is the sea, and high-end employees, high-end executives, high-profile executives, those are the whales of the organization, right? So that is what, that is your whale. Okay. Next thing that we have is watering hole attack. Now, what is watering hole attack, guys? So, how it works? Anyway, as you can see over here, what attacker is doing, this is the attacker, right? Attacker is doing what? Attacker is gathering the initial intelligence, initial information to determine which sites to target, right? Now, let's say attacker took the example of Amazon, Amazon.com, right? So he did what? He gathered the information about the Amazon and he targeted that website. Now, after that, what he did, let's say he installed a Trojan in that website, right? Now he installed a Trojan in that website. So what happens? Exploit drops the malware into vulnerable systems. Now I installed a Trojan into this website. So anyone who will be accessing that website, the Trojan will do what? The Trojan will travel to his device. Now the Trojan has traveled to his device is now vulnerable. Now what is Trojan, guys? Trojan is the malware, right? Everyone knows that Trojan is what? Trojan is a malware, right? Now Trojan is doing what? Trojan will do what? Trojan will give you the backdoor access. Always remember, Trojan is a thing, Trojan is a type of malware that will give you the backdoor access. That will create a backdoor access for the attack. Right? Now Trojan is installed in the system. Right? Now whatever activities the attacker wants to do, he can do that now. Right? He can get inside the PC of this person and he can gather all the information, all the data that he wants, all the confidential data, right? So this is your watering hole attack, right? Now in this, what we do, we mostly try to attack the organizations, right? So we have created a very legit website, a very good website, authentic website. And what I'm doing now, someone is using that website. So I'm deploying what? If let's say someone from the company is accessing any website, right? Like Times of India is using. So what I'll do, I will install a Trojan in Times of India. Now that Trojan will be installed inside the company's device, any person's device who's working inside the company. Now after that, what will happen, guys? After that, all the people who are using Times of India will be attacked. So that's how your watering hole attack is done, right? Okay. Next thing about attacks is password cracking attacks. So first attack that we have is brute force attack. Now what is brute force attack is? Anyone? Anyone? Force login? Okay. Anyone else? Attacking by guessing using multiple passwords, trying and possible times. So what we do, guys, as you can see, there is an automated tool, right? So it's written over here, automated tool and multiple login attempts. So what we do in brute force attack, I do what? I provide a list of usernames. So there is a username list, username dot txt, and there is a password list, password dot txt. Now what it will do, it will try all the combinations of username and password, right? So hit and trial method that is called, right? It is doing what? It is using all the combination. Let's say there is a username written Ashish, right? Now Ashish is the username. There is a password. In password file we have, let's say, infosec123 Ashish 121 Ashish 112, like this. So with this username, it will try all these three passwords if they work. If not, it will move on to other username. Let's say other username is this Anurag, right? So it will check that as well, right? So with this username, the second one, it will try all the password combinations. So multiple permutations and combinations it will use. So combination of pass username with password it will try until it find the password. If there will be a password in your password file, you will surely get that, and if there will be a username, right? So the tool that we sometimes use for that is Hydra, right? We have Medusa as well, but mostly we use Hydra, right? So these are the tools that are used for doing brute force attack, right? Okay. Now next thing we have is dictionary attack. So what is dictionary attack is? How it is different from brute force attack? Anyone? The word list is used to match password using words and dictionary as password, guessing the password by using a list of possible passwords. Now the difference between correct. So what we have, as you can see, in dictionary attack, what we have, our passwords are arranged in this order, right? Like the words are arranged in a dictionary, it will be arranged like that. Like first A, then B, then J, right? Clear everyone? Now what happens in dictionary attack and what is the difference between brute force and the dictionary attack? So in brute force, a large number of possible key permutations are checked. Now in dictionary attack, only the words with most possibilities of success are checked. And that's why it consumes less time than brute force, right? So we will try words like hello, attack, password, like that, right? Now in your brute force, if we talk about brute force, so P at the rate dollar dollar W 0 RD. These types of the passwords which have special characters also involved. These types of things are checked in dictionary attack, right? Now, next thing that we have is hybrid attack. Now, hybrid attack is what, guys? It is a combo of dictionary and brute force, right? So it is a combination of dictionary and brute force attack. And what happens? All the passwords are there, right? The passwords with special characters as well, with alphanumeric characters as well, and the plain words as well. So everything is used over here. Clear, everyone? Yes, Mr. Abhishek, it will be checked. So these are your types of password cracking attacks. Now, next type of thing that we have is wiretapping. Now, what is wiretapping, guys? If you have watched it in movies, that there is a person who is climbing up to the telephone pole and he is using some device and is using a telephone, attaching it to the wires and then listening to the things, right? So what that thing is, that is wiretapping, right? So what the thing is happening, let's say two people are communicating with each other, right? This is one telephone, right? And T1, and this is second telephone, T2. So they are communicating with each other, right? Now what is happening in between? There is a person, like these are the two wires, and there is a person who has connected his phone to these wires, and now he is able to listen all the things, right? So that is what, that is wiretapping, right? Okay. Now what the thing is, it is a type of man in the middle attack. So there is a person in the middle and he is listening everything, that what conversation is going on, what data is being transferred. So that is what, that is your man in the middle attack. Clear, everyone? Any doubts? Any queries? Uh, Now we will move on to the steps of hacking. Now the first, there are 5 steps in hacking, and first step says information gathering. Right? Now, if I want to attack someone, I need to have information about that particular organization or about that particular person. Right? So that is what, that is information gathering. Now the other name for information gathering is reconnaissance or footprinting. Right? So these are the names that are given to information gathering. And in information gathering, what we do, we try to find out information about every person that is there, right? Or every organization which we want to attack, right? Now, what we have, guys, for information gathering, I have some tasks for you. I have created some tasks. So you guys have to tell me about whatever I will ask, right? So the first task, So what you have to do, you have to find out emails for a website chronos.com. Right? So there is a website with the name chronos.com. You have to find emails from that what emails it is using, what are the emails like Ashish at the rate chronos.com, Abhishek at the rate chronos.com, Diego at the rate chronos.com. These types of emails you have to find out. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes if you can find out. So you have to find it quickly and reply it in the chat. So if anyone finds anything, they can put that up in the chat. Mr. Amal, this is not the real one. I was just giving you the example. No, I'm not working with chronos.com, guys. So find out more, guys. Mr. John has given me, and Mr. Marvin has given me one more. Okay. Now I want guys, everyone to tell me where you got that from. Okay. So let me show you guys how you can find that out. Right. So there is one thing with the name snob.io. Right. So from snob.io, you can click on tools and you can click on file email addresses. Now, what thing over here is you have to sign up here, right? And after sign up, you have to do what? You will get the emails, right? But now, if I will write snow your chronos.com. So it gave me some chronos, right? So we'll find for it. So as you can see, contact at the rate 3chronos360.com, benjamin.ioli at the rate chronos360.com. Right? Again, if I search for it, like find emails, so we have chronos. Right? So different chronos are there. So it is giving me two results, and if you will create your account, it will give you. Now, next thing that we have is mails hunt. Right now, in mails hunt, you have email finder as well. Right. So here also you can find out email. Right. So you will click on email finder and you will write chronos.com. Anything like this. Right. So you will write this and you will get the emails over here as well. So here you have to find out, you have to create an account again, right? So these are what your OSN tasks, right? Now, if I want to find out, the second task is to find out how a website is built, right? Let's say we have a website, our website name is InfosecTrain, right? This is our website. Now, how it is built? How you will find that out? I will use just a tool with the name Wappalyzer. I have Wappalyzer, and what I will do, I will just write InfosecTrain.com. Now I'll click on technology lookup, and what I got all the things. Programming languages that are used: PHP, Node.js, and Java. Databases are MySQL, UI framework, Bootstrap, reverse proxies, Nginx, SEO, used SEO, Nginx as web server, Google web server, and Apache we have. JavaScript libraries that are used: jQuery, jQuery UI, jQuery Migrate, and Code.js. Right? Font scripts, you have Google Font API, Fontos. Right? Now Google Tag Manager we have, Google Analytics, Google Pixel, these Facebook Pixel, these types of things we are using. So if you want to find out how the website is built, you can use this thing as well. Right? Okay. Now one more thing we have is you get signal. So you get signal is what it is, also a website, so which gives you all the types of products. Like if I write over here InfosecTrain.com and if I write check, so it gave me the domain name, right? Who is server, who has issued the certificate, updated date, creation date, registry expiry date, right? With INA and all the information, the domain name server, right? Domain status and all the things, right? So all these things are what, all these things are your OSINT tasks. What are these? OSINT. OSINT means open source intelligence. There is a framework for OSINT as well. So how you gather the information about any any of the person or any of the organization, right? Now one more task that I want to give you guys. So it is about finding out the information about more companies, right? Now you have to find subdomains, right? Let's say we have a company with the name Tesla.com, right? Tesla.com we have. So we have to find the subdomains for it, right? Like your security dot one at the rate tesla.com. So this is a domain and all these are that are using this domain are your subdomains. Now what you have to do, you have to find the subdomains for it. So everyone try to find out subdomains for it. Anyone found? Like hr.tesla.com, like these types of things. Correct. sso.tesla.com, static -tesla.com, correct. Model 3.tesla.com. IT answers, correct. Now, how you found that? What sources you used? So what we have is we have something with the name DNS dumpster, right? Now, what it does, it helps you in finding the subdomains, right? So if I write tesla.com over here and search it, so it will show me the results of that. So now if we will scroll down, so these are the subdomains and the DNS servers, your MX records and all these things, right? Now here as you can see tesla.com, vpn1.tesla.com, model3.tesla.com, o3btr1444 tesla.com. These are your tesla.com, right? Now what else we have? We have Nmapper as well. This is also a tool. As you can see, this is Subdomain Finder, right? So you just have to write tesla.com and it will scan for the subdomains, right? A lot of subdomains. Now, what we have, guys, we have certificates as well. We discussed about certificates, digital certificates. So we have certificates, right? Now, certificates are what? Let's say we have this website crt.sh. Now, these were what? These were not meant for finding subdomains. They are made to find whether the certificate is legit or not. Right? So how will you find out? You will write tesla.com. Right? Now if you have written tesla.com here, it will give you that what Tesla have certificates or not. So it will give the certificate ID it is giving you and log at not before, not after. Right? Now if you can see matching identity in matching identities, there are lots and lots of subdomains of Tesla.com. Right? So that is also a thing that you can do to find out subdomain. Now again, search spotter we have. So if you will use search spotter, it will also help you. But there is login, you have to do sign up, right? So this is about your information gathering, that how you gather the information, right? Now next second thing that we have is scanning. So we scan the target device to find out the open ports, right? Right. So what do we do in scanning open ports and running services? Now, how we use that, how we do that? So what we have, guys, we have a tool with the name Nmap, right? So this Nmap tool helps us for finding the open ports and the services. Now, what is Nmap? Nmap. Nmap is what? Nmap is short for network mapper. It is a free open source tool for vulnerability scanning and network discovery. Right? Now, Nmap can be used to monitor single host as well as vast networks that encompass hundreds of thousands of devices and multitudes of subnets. Right? So, it is used for monitoring purposes as well. It is used for finding out doing scanning, finding out open ports and the running services. Right? So that is your Nmap. Clear everyone? Now, how we work with Nmap and how Nmap works? Can anyone tell me? Anyone from the team? Okay, have you guys used Nmap? No problem. Let me tell you guys how Nmap works and what happens. Now we will move on to the scanning part, and in scanning what we have is, I'll show you. Now we'll start with the scanning part. So we have this scanning. Now in scanning, what we do in scanning, we do three things. Scanning happens in three steps. What are those three steps? Check whether the host is live or not. Right. Next, second thing, what we have to find out, the open open ports. Right. Now, third thing that you have to find out is services running. Right. Now, what this is, what happens in that? First thing what we have to do, we have to find out whether the host is live or not. So how we find that out? We use the ping command, right, to send the ping. Else we use traceroute, right? Now, if we both of these are not working, then you will use what? Then you will use hping3, right? Now hping3 is what? hping3 is a tool that will send, that you can craft your own packets and you can send your own packets, right? So that is what, that is hping3. Now you can do arc scan as well, so address resolution protocol, and you can find out about the host, the target, that if it is working fine or not, right? So that is arc scan, right? So that's how you find it. Okay, now we will find out about open ports. Now how open ports are used? Open ports are checked by Nmap. There is one more tool with the name Nessus. So that is open ports, how we find out. Now services running, again Nmap and Nessus. Now how this Nmap works, we'll find that out. Now if we move on to the Nmap. So as we know, Nmap stands for Network Mapper, right? Now Nmap stands for Network Mapper. It works in four steps, right? The first step Nmap does is ping sweep, right? Now the second step it does is DNS resolution, and the third step it does is find out open ports, right? And the last thing that it does is NSE. Now NSE is what? NSE stands for Nmap scripting engine, right? Now these things it does. Now ping sweep is what? It will ping all the IP addresses that are there in your subnet, right? So that is ping sweep, right? Now next is DNS resolution. So DNS resolution is what? it will do reverse or forward DNS resolution. Reverse DNS resolution means it will map your IP to the name, IP address to the domain name. And in forward, it will map your domain name to the IP, right? So it does that. Next thing what it does, it checks for open ports. So in your target machine, it will send some flags, it will send some things, and it will find out that which ports are open. Now next thing that it does is it does it runs NS. So we have different types of things, right? Different types of ports, different types of services like your HTTP, FTP, SNMP, SMTP, these types of things, right? So what it does, it just directly runs those scripts and find out if there is a well-known vulnerability in some well-known ports available or not, right? Now how it will work, so we have Nmap options, right? So what we have the options. So you have to remember these options for working with them. Now what options do we have? So in Nmap we have Nmap -sn. Now what Nmap -sn does, if you want to find out if the check whether the host is live or not, that step is done by -sn. So it does what? It does ping sweep. Next thing that we have is we can use -pn with Nmap. Now, if we want to do, if you do not want that your DNS resolution happens, because the basic working of Nmap is it will do DNS resolution. But if you know that DNS resolution cannot happen, right? There is no website, there is no domain name hosted, and that there is no domain name associated with this particular IP. So what you will do, you will use -pn, and that pn will block DNS resolution. So it will not waste your time, right? Now then we have hyphen p. Now hyphen p is used for specifying port. So if you want to specify any port number, so then you will use -p and space the port number like 80, 81, 443, 139, 5557. So these types of ports you will use. Now if you want to scan all the ports, you will use -p hyphen. So it will scan all the ports. How many total number of ports are there? 65535 ports, right? So it will scan all 65535 ports, right? Now you can use -v as well. So -v is used for verbosity. So if you want more verbose information, you will use it, and then you will get more detailed information, right? Okay. Now then you will use -sb. So sb is for finding out the service version, right? What service version? If any port is open, then what service version is running on that, right? Now next thing that we use is -sc. Now we discussed about NSE and map scripting engine. So for running well-known scripts, it will do what? It will run nmap -sc, and using nmap-sc, you will be able to run scripts, right? Now, what else we have? We have -n as well. So, -n will do what? It will block DNS resolution, right? Now, we did what? We wrote about -pn as well. So, -pn is not for blocking DNS resolution. It is used for blocking pings, right? Now it's fine. So these are the options that you can use with Nmap, right? Now how Nmap works. So if you know about TCP flags, right? So what TCP flags we have? If you are using TCP communication, then we have TCP flag, right? So there are 6 types of flags: SYN, ACK, FIN, RST, ESH, URG. Now, SYN stands for synchronization. ACK stands for acknowledgement. Now, FIN is what? FIN stands for finish. RST stands for reset. Push stands for push. ESH, push. And the last one is urgent. Now, if you want to send any data, first you have to do what? You have to synchronize yourself with the receiver. So then at that time, first before starting the communication, you will send the SYN flag. The receiver will send what? The acknowledgement. Right? Now after that, what will happen? You will send the acknowledgement again. Right? Okay. Now, next thing you have finish flag. So when you want to close the communication, then you're by using four-way handshake, your communication is closed. Now, if you want to close the communication abruptly, then your RST flag is used, reset. It will abruptly close the communication. Clear, everyone? Okay. Now, then we have PSH, right? So PSH is what? PSH is used to push. So let's say if I have any frame and I want to forward it towards the receiver, right? So I will use push flag to forward that data. Now, when you watch videos on YouTube, guys, so every frame that is arriving from the server, that is sent by the push flag. Now, next thing we have is urgent. So anything that is more urgent, apart from that data you are, apart from that video you are watching, so that is sent through urgent flag. So if you have seen in between there are ads, advertisements in between, so those advertisements are sent using the urgent flag, that before the data that is sent using push flag, we want to send urgent flag because it has more priority, right? So these TCP flags are used to send the data. Now what we will do, guys, we will see that how these things work, right? So I'll start my Kali machine and one more machine will start. Now this Linux is my attacking machine and this is my target machine. So what I'll do, first thing, we will go back to our slides and we will see first step, information gather, right? So first we will find out the information. Now here, what information we need? We need the IP address of the target machine. So IP target, the target machine's IP address we want, right? So we will use that. Okay. So we'll wait for it for 2 more minutes. Okay, it started. So enter the password. And now what I'll do, I'll go to my terminal, right? Now I have opened my terminal and here I will write sudo su for being the root user, then the password, right? And now what I'll do, I know we both are connected to the same network. This is my target machine. I don't know the uh, username and password for it. So what I'll do is I will just use the scan. So what I'll do, I will first find out my own IP. So using ifconfig, I'll use my own IP. Right now, if config does what, it will give me the IP. Right. So it gave me the IP. So on which subnet I am sitting in? I am sitting in 192.168.46.0. This is my subnet. That is my network ID. So what I'll do, I'll write app-scan and this thing /24, the CIDR notation, right? So it will do what? It will directly give me the IP address of my target machine. Now this is what this dot one is your network ID, right? So if you remember, we wrote when we were using, when we did IP addressing, so there the formula was 2 raised to power n minus 2. So this minus 2 is what is here. So what we subtracted our network ID and the broadcast ID. Now these two are this dot one is network ID and this is broadcast ID. This two, what is this two? This dot two is your gateway, default gateway. Default gateway means router that is connecting my virtual machine to my Windows so that I am able to access internet inside my virtual machine. Right? So that is dot two. Now we have this 148, right? So this 148 is what? Dot 148 is the IP address of my target. So this is the step of information gathering. Now what I'll do, I will use Nmap, right? And I will use the options that we discussed. So -v and this thing. So this is my command. Now -v is for finding out the more detailed information for verbosity. -pn will do what? -pn will block the ping sweep. -n will do what? -n will block the DNS resolution. -p for scanning all the ports, right? -sv for scanning the service version, and -sc for running the script, well-known scripts. I'll press enter and it will give me a reply that what ports are open. So as you can see, it is giving me a list of ports that are open in my target machine, right? Okay. Now it is saying that scanning 30 services. That means 30 ports are open. Now it is scanning for the services that are running in that particular machine, right? So this is how you do the Nmap scan, and this is how Nmap finds out the open ports. Right now, if you can see all over here is written NSE, NSE, NSE. Right. So NSE is what? The Nmap scripting engine. The well-known scripts it is running for finding out the vulnerabilities. If well-known vulnerabilities are there in some ports. Right. Okay. Let's see what it will give us. So it will take some time, let it load. Till then, I'll tell you what in next step we do. So that will cover them with long. Right? Now, next thing, if in scanning as well, you don't find the output like desired output. So what you will do, you will go to the enumeration and you will find more information, more detailed information about your target. Right now you will do what? You will use different techniques. You have auxiliaries, and using those auxiliaries you will find more information about the target. Now if you have enough information about the target, now what you will do, you will hack the system using the exploits. You will exploit the system. Right now, using different techniques we have, using different payloads, we can hack the system. Now what you can do, you can, after hacking, if you do not want to be caught, you do not want to get caught, you will cover the tracks. So you will do what? You will clear the logs. Right now, after clearing the logs, what happens? The all the things that are there will be cleaned. So what we will be having? We will be having no logs, so that all the person who is investigating that particular incident, that particular hack, will not be able to find about us. Right? Okay. Now it gave me the output. So what output it gave me, as you can see, it showed me the port, state of the port, service, and the version of that service. Right? So what it gave me, port 21 is open, right? it is using the FTP service, and the version of FTP that it is running is VSFTPD, right? Now it ran two scripts for me. If you will say that where are the scripts, you use -sc. So you get that using -sv, what I got the version, right? Now where is -sc? So here is your -sc. FTP NN is being run. FTP syst is run, right? So after these things are run, it gave me the output that anonymous FTP login allowed, right? So we will try to hack this machine using the port number 21FT. Now for second thing, where is NAC, right? Where these scripts are saved, right? So what we have is, we'll write sudo su, and now what I'll do, I'll write locate nmap scripts and grep ftp. So what I'm doing, out of all the nmap scripts, I'm just grabbing all those which are made for ftp. So as you can see, these are the scripts that are for ftp. Clear everyone? Now what I will do, I will run this any of the script, right? So as you can see, FTP NN is there, FTP syst is there. So in my other terminal, as you can see, the output from them is shown, right? Now output is shown. What I'll do, I will run some script for it, right? So what I want, as you can see in my other terminal, your VSF TPD version is running. So what I did, I found that there is a script for that as well, VSF TPD. So I use ProFTPD as well because I wanted to find out what can be done, right? So what I'll do, I'll press enter and let it run. Now it is run. Now after, it only gave me the reply from VSF TPD back. And what it says it is vulnerable. And the version that is running is 2.3.4. It will give you a backdoor, right? Clear everyone? Now it will give me a backdoor. What we have is exploit results. So after you will exploit that, what you will have, so if you will write the command id, your uid will be 0, that means you will be the root user. Your gid will be 0, that means you will be the root user. So how you will exploit that? So for that we have a framework with the name metasploit, right? So writing msf console, what we will do, we will start the framework. Now my framework has started. This framework is used to find out exploits for well-known vulnerabilities, well-known ports, right? So what I'll do, guys, I will go back to the output of my Nmap. I know that the version VSF TPD is running. Now what I'll do, I'll go to MSF6. I will search if there is any exploit for this particular service. And it gave me what? It gave me an exploit in below, that there is a backdoor and backdoor command execution can be done, right? So what I'll do, I'll write use and I'll write the name of this exploit, right? So I'll copy that and paste it over here. I'll press enter. So as you can see, the prompt has been changed. So now I'm using this exploit, right? These are pre-written codes that will exploit the vulnerability, right? So I will use this exploit now. Now how will I use this exploit? On whom I want to do this exploit? I want to do this exploit on my target, which is metasploitable 2, right? This is my exploit and this is my target. So what I'll do, guys, I will write show options. Now what is show options? Show options will give you all the options that are there. Now as you can see, there is first option rhost. Rhost stands for remote host, and in the description, as you can see, the target host, right? So on whom I want to do this exploit, my target, right? So I have to provide the IP address of my target. So you will write set our host and 192.1.1.4. The IP address of your target machine, right? So now if I will do show options again, your R host is set now. Now what I'll do, I'll just directly write exploit and I will press enter, right? Now what it is doing, it is giving me a shell, right? So if I will write ID over here, it is showing me root. If I write who am I, it is showing me that you are the root. Now if I want to see what things are there inside this machine, I will write ls and it gave me all the things, all the files that are there, right? If I write cd slash root and do ls over here, so as you can see, reset logs.sh, right? So what I can do, dot slash reset underscore logs.sh. And what I have done now, I have deleted all the logs and I have covered my path. So the last step says cover the tracks. So I have done that as well, right? So this is how you attack any system in the network, right? Clear everyone? Any doubts? Okay. Now, one more thing that I want to show you guys, that when we did the Nmap scan, let's say I want to do it for any specific port only. So what I'll do, I will be doing what? I will be writing Nmap, right? Nmap hyphen ss hyphen p hyphen and just target IP. Now what I'll do, I'll go here and start the Wireshark. So if I'll start the Wireshark, so I'll write Wireshark and it will start Wireshark. So Wireshark is what? It is a tool that is used to capture the packets. So I'll press it, write ip.eddr and the IP address. So I have used a filter that all the traffic that is going towards this target machine will be captured. Now I have started the scan. So what it will do, let's see. Now what it did it for every port, all the ports, right? Now let's see what happens. As you can see, it is sending the send request. So let's go to the So what it is sending, for starting the communication, it will be sending your send request, right? Now send request is used to find that out, right? Now, as you will see, all the reset act flag where this red is written, these all ports are closed, right? So port number 1300, 1200, these ports are closed. So that's why it is showing a red sign, right? Okay. Now what ports are open, guys? So let me show you that as well. So if I'll use this command and I want to specify a port, let's say port number 80 and press enter. Now if I go to this and see what I have, right? So I'll capture packets for this scan. And as you can see over here, what we have SYNAC, right? So SYNAC is sent. SYNAC means acknowledgement is sent. Now what will happen? That port is open. So whenever you are getting acknowledgement, that port is open, right? So this is how you capture the packets that are going towards your machine, right? So SYN is sent, SYNAC we got, right? So this is what this port is open. 1311. This port is open, right? So this is how you capture the packets, right? You hack into a machine. Now, Mr. Sheetal, how target machine come to know attack happened? How to check logs? See, we have logs for everything, right? So what we have logs for everything, application logs, system logs, everything. So if we will go to this event viewer, and there what we have Windows logs. So everything, any application, every application will be creating logs. So that will be shown over there as well. Security logs will be there, setup logs, system logs, forwarded events, all the logs are there, right? So number of events 32398. So these logs are there, right? So what we have is we have forensics team in our organizations, and that forensics team is doing what they are analyzing all the packets and all the logs, and they are trying to trace back the attacker. But what we have done, we have cleared all the logs, so that means they will not be able to find out, right? So that's how it checks the logs, right? So for logs, we have an organization, SIM tools, security information, and event management. So those tools are used like your IBM QRadar we have ArcSight as well, right? So those things are used. Clear everyone? Okay. Now you guys can ask your questions. If you have any questions, you can ask me any questions, right? So you can drop your questions on the chat. I will be answering those questions. And if you want more information, then you can go to our Telegram channel and YouTube as well, and you can connect with us on LinkedIn. Mr. Alok Bhagat, I would say NISS is better. So in organizations, when you do pen testing, so NISS is used because NISS also create reports for that, right? Mr. Soru, yes, we can access or another open port as well. Like we have different ports, so you can go for other ports as well, right? If you want to see, and if you will see, so there is a port number 1524. Now this 1524 is a bind shell connection, right? So if you know what is bind shell, in bind shell, victim listens on any port that is open and attacker connects to that port, right? So for that I can use a tool with the name netcat, right? So netcat is used to create sessions and start the links. So if I will press enter, as you can see, I am root at the rate matters vertical, right? So that's how you will hack ports, another port. I have hacked inside the port 1524 as well, right? So if you will do ls over here, you will get all the directories and cd slash root again, and do ls over here. So you have reset logs, you can run again and delete all the logs, right? So that's how what you do the things. Thank you, Mr. Amol. Thank you, Mr. Saru. Thank you, Mr. Diego. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Alok. Thank you, Mr. Shitul. So if you guys have